maintained a very clear and consistent position that diplomacy and dialogue can resolve this conflict and which can lead to enduring peace. India is willing to provide all possible support and contribution required to help find peaceful solutions to this complex issue. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be undertaking an official visit to Poland this week on 21st and 22nd August at the invitation of Prime Minister His Excellency Donald Tusk. This is a landmark visit as Prime Minister of India is visiting Poland after 45 years. The visit takes place as we also mark the 70th anniversary of the establishment of our diplomatic relations between India and Poland. In Warsaw, Prime Minister Modi will be accorded a ceremonial welcome. In addition to the talks with Prime Minister Donald Tusk, Prime Minister Modi will also call on President Andrzej Duda. Prime Minister Modi will also interact with members of the Indian community, select Polish business leaders, and prominent Indologists. He will also visit memorials that commemorate the very special episodes of Jamnagar and Kolhapur in our shared history, which I just spoke about. This historic visit in this landmark year for India and Polish relations will provide an opportunity for our leaders to review the bilateral partnership and offer guidance on enhancing this cooperation in diverse areas and also discuss regional and global issues of mutual interest. Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi will undertake an official visit to Ukraine later this week on Friday, 23rd August, at the invitation of President of Ukraine, His Excellency Volodymyr Zelenskyy. This also is a landmark and historic visit, since this will be the first time that an Indian Prime Minister will be visiting Ukraine in more than 30 years since the diplomatic relations were established between our countries. The visit will build upon the recent high-level interactions between the two leaders. As you know, Prime Minister Modi and President Zelenskyy had met only a couple of months ago in June this year in Apulia at the sidelines of the G7 summit. They had also met last year in Hiroshima on the margins of the G7 summit. And they had earlier met in Glasgow on the sidelines of COP in 2021. The two leaders have also had multiple telephone conversations during the last 4 years. The upcoming visit of Prime Minister Modi to Ukraine will provide an opportunity to hold discussions on the entire gamut of bilateral relations, ranging from economic and business linkages, agriculture, infrastructure, health and education, pharmaceuticals, defense, culture, and people-to-people ties. This landmark visit, of course, takes place against the backdrop of the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, which will also form part of discussions. As you are aware, India has consistently advocated for diplomacy and dialogue to reach a negotiated settlement. India had attended the Summit on Peace in Ukraine, hosted by Switzerland in June this year. You may recall that more than 18,000 Indian students who were studying in Ukraine were evacuated during 2022 under Operation Ganga with the help of Ukrainian and other authorities. India has provided several consignments of humanitarian assistance to Ukraine since March 2022. Financial assistance for reconstruction and refurbishment of a school, and also for training of teachers from 3 different schools, has also been provided. Further initiatives are also under consideration. At this stage, for obvious reasons, we are not in a position to discuss in detail the individual elements of the program of the visit, and we request your understanding on this. Information about these elements and the actual discussions between the leaders will be shared with you upon the conclusion of the visit. This is an important visit that is expected to catalyze our ties in a whole range of sectors. India has maintained a very clear and consistent position that diplomacy and dialogue can resolve this conflict and which can lead to enduring peace. So dialogue is absolutely essential. Lasting peace can only be achieved through options that are acceptable to both parties, and it can only be a negotiated settlement. On our part, India continues to engage with all stakeholders. Prime Minister Modi has had conversations with leaders of both Russia and Ukraine, as you know, and Prime Minister had also visited Russia recently. India is willing to provide all possible support and contribution required to help find peaceful solutions to this complex issue. And at this stage, it is not for us to anticipate or prejudge what the outcome of these discussions will be between the leaders of India and Ukraine. This is not a zero-sum game. Prime Minister had also traveled to Russia. Many ideas were discussed. Prime Minister has also met President Zelenskyy on a couple of occasions in the last 1 year or so. And they will now be meeting again in Ukraine. So I would like to say that these are independent, broad ties, and of course the ongoing conflict will form part of the discussions.